back. There are times in our life when we're like the first man who says, let me bury my father first. What's the meaning of that? What is Jesus getting at when that is highlighted in the gospel? It is for this man, both in Luke and in Matthew, someone who makes an excuse, right? Or explains what it is that he cannot yet give over to Jesus, right? It is a reason for him not to walk completely with Jesus. It is something that he believes other people should understand about him and therefore understand why he's holding back. And that holding back in that first instance of the man who tells Jesus, I want to follow you, but let me bury my father first, I think what he is dealing with is he wants to bury all the issues that he had with his mother and his father and his coming up. Why didn't she do it that way when I was a kid? Why didn't he love me the way a father should love me? And we carry those issues not just about parents, but the way that you and I are brought up, about our childhood, about our past, and all the things that happen to us. They are issues that we want to bury before we follow Jesus, but we can't quite yet bury them because they're always there. Amen? Why am I the way I am? It's because of Mom and Dad. That's the way I am. Feel sorry for me. But make allowances for me. I'm screwed up like this because of Dad. And I need to bury him first before I follow Jesus. But you see, do you understand what's going on here, sisters and brothers? What's going on is that there is comfort in not burying your father and your mother. There is comfort in being enslaved by our past. There is comfort in that because then we know how our world looks. We know how to confront our world. We know what to tell other people. We know what to tell ourselves when we fall short. There is an explanation about why I mess up the way I do. It's because of my past. There is a certain comfort in our slavery. Because it makes sense of what you and I are going through now. The second person that Jesus encounters who says to him, I want to follow you, but let me take care of the oxen I bought. Now you and I don't deal with oxen. We don't even deal with tractors unless you're doing some Saturday mowing in the grass, right? We men like to be on those riding mowers, you know? But that isn't about tractors and oxen. It's about the way life is now. That you got some burdens. You got some things pressing in on you. You got some things that are worrying you night and day. You got some things that you say it isn't setting right with you. And sometimes you and I don't want to leave the comfort of the slavery to our worries and our burdens. Oh, we say we do. But you see, when we have worries and burdens, when we look at life a certain way, it gives us reason to be and to act with others the way that we do. Doesn't it? And then we set up a rule, you know? It is when our heart is broken by somebody, and we're going through that right now, that I set up a rule for myself. I'm not going to trust anybody else. Right? If my family turns against me, who can I trust? If all they want from me is money, I don't want anything to do with people. If all they're in it for is themselves, why should I care? Am I right? Is that what's happening in some of our hearts? Maybe not all of our hearts. But there are those disappointments that you and I suffer in our lives. As hard as it is to admit, we like to hang on to them. Why don't I talk to her? Oh, did you hear what she said to me about 3 years ago? Right? The reason why I'm not talking to her is because what she did to me. Right? Now, I may perceive what she did as something completely different from what she actually did. But I'm going to carry this with me because I am this way. And don't you try and cross me. Don't stab me in the back. I'm giving you a warning. These are the rules I play by. Right? Right? The reason why I'm talking about all these other folks and what they did to me is to give you a warning. You better not treat me that way, or I'll talk about you too. Oh! How's that for a little comfort of slavery, right? Set up your own rules, but I'm this way because my heart has been broken too much, and I can't take it anymore. The third person in the gospel today says, let me take care of my affairs first. He wants to make sure that the future is all right. You notice what we've done? We talked about the past, we talked about the present, and now this third guy is looking ahead, and he wants to make sure that everything turns out all right. And as long as I am in control, it's going to be all right. Right? 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 Man, I can't even control myself sometimes right now. How am I going to control my future? Sometimes this anger comes from nowhere and it takes control of me. How in the world can I think of making sure the future turns out the way I wanted it to turn out? I can't even manage my own spirits.